some of your songs are a little more, I won't say mysterious, but let's take Norman for example. I know there's been clamor among America fans for that because you guys were playing it on the road. And there's been a lot of speculation in the conversations I've seen about who is Norman. And so, Gerry, who is Norman?
Funny journey on that tune. The song Norman is about an industrial designer named Norman Bell Geddes. You know, as you do. What are you going to write about today? Write about an obscure draftsman. No, he was a fascinating dude. And of course, he was a futurist. I think the closest thing would be Buckminster Fuller, you know, kind of a futurist and stuff. But I was such a huge fan of what you know, Google him nowadays, you can look him up. But he designed airplanes and ships and ocean liners and things. And it was just, I was, as a kid, always built models and things. And I was very into design. But in particular, and I'll bring him up again, Jimmy Webb is a dear friend. And we spent a lot of time together. And he would actually build models and stuff. And so we went into this phase where we just reading everything we could about Norman Bell Geddes. And so it ended up as a song. And unfortunately, and there's nothing wrong with this, but it was during the era of working with George Martin where we did a series of 7 or 8 straight projects with George. And he said, we can't sing a song about Norman. The name Norman in England is a bit of a kind of a derogatory, oh, he's such a Norman or something. I thought, oh, and again, I don't know, I had 8 or 10 tunes. I thought, fine, you know, and it just kind of went on the shelf. But that's where it came from. Actually, his daughter or granddaughter was the actress Barbara Bell Geddes, and she was in Dallas or one of those Dynasty or something. And I thought, you see that name, so I looked it up.
I'm kind of curious because I know you guys played in a variety of concerts, and I know it became sort of this fan favorite as one of the unreleased America tracks. Yeah. So that song's from 2002, so you've had 19 years to put it out on the America album, but it shows up on the Best of Gerry Beckley. So how did it navigate from being a song you guys played in your shows to a Gerry Beckley song?
I think what happened was I think I recorded it for a Jeff Larson record. I think that's kind of, and then in my mind, I thought, oh, okay, well, we've done that and moved on. And again, it's always a big pile of things. I'm actually quite surprised when things surface. I'm here in our studio in Australia, and I'm working on, I don't know, 10 or 20 things, and 10 or 15 are brand new. Some of the newest stuff I've been writing, but there's 5 or 6 from, you know, again, from the archives. And I'm thinking, why didn't I ever finish this? And so, you know, it's just a lot to pull from. Nothing against it. What happened was we played it on a tour. We played it every night, and it was a big moment. It's kind of like one of those Inspector Mills. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm cautious about those tunes because I always think of the quote, you know, full of sound and fury and signifying nothing. Don't ever want the scope of it to surpass its ingredients. You know, it's bigger than it should be. And I think Norman was one of those tunes. It was grandiose with timpanis and all kinds of crap was going on. And I thought, well, maybe it got a bit big for its britches. You know?
Well, I love the version here, and it's great to have it on the album. Let's talk also, though, about I'm Your Heart Slave, which when I first heard it, I thought, man, this should be like a huge single. Well, what was the process in your mind coming up with both the title and writing that song?
Geez, I wish I could, you know, sometimes I can clearly remember exactly what was the spark, you know, that put a certain lyric together. But I think in that song, it was the elements of the arrangement. And when all of us musicians who play more than one instrument were given, you know, this ridiculously endless source of sounds now with sampling and stuff. And, you know, I play a lot of instruments, but I cannot play a horn to save my life. But now that I have sampled horns and things, I'd like to think I kind of get around, you know. But when we all were addressed to having our home studios with all of these choices and endless choices, and I used to lecture about this, and when I'm talking to kids about composing and stuff, I felt it forced us all to say, what am I really after here? Because the notion of what are my choices is an endless conversation. If you say, I'm going to sit here and dial through the 10,000 sounds in my new synthesizer, you'd spend all day and never get a note played. So in Heart Slave, some lovely combinations of instruments is what I'm saying. I was putting together the, I was trying to use some Eastern droning things, and, and I think I built the track before I built the lyric.